Oh, we're still open. I'm a few minutes early, so I'm hiding. And thank you, Nell, for posting the fact that I forgot to change the time on here. Look at all the waterfalls. And look down there. Polish people. That's Dorota and Piotr. I saw Marie bought a penis from you. A little wooden one. You heard me. Oh, there they're waving still. I have to look at the waterfalls. They're huge. And there's more of them. Let's see, I saw Audra's back in Lithuania. And Karin is here. Hello, hello. Has Torben bought any more toys that we should be aware of? Gaming toys. Okay, so Nella helped me fix the clock. I realized I had it at the wrong time. Charlotte's back. We miss her. She was just here. She went home yesterday. Albert bought more Warhammer 40k today in Lillehammer, though it was only 3 minis. We've just, and I was telling him we just got a bunch of shelves for Karl to put his little Warhammer figures on. There's some IKEA trays that are about like this wide, little shelves, and then he can put all his figures on there. So we get about 10 of them. And then hopefully he'll be able to not only find them, but, you know, kind of sort them by the ones that are painted, ones that need painting, ones that need fine detailing, and some that are done that just need a varnish spray or something. So, but they were starting to get broken on the table because we have cats. Let's see. Amaro made it. No rain in Belgium today. Oh, we're having lots here. PJ Lightning's here. And Rhonda's here. Just came back from Orkney, Scotland last week. Oh, Rhonda, that sounds like so much fun. For a week and a half. Amaro, and 4 medals in the Olympics in 2 days. Kind of proud. You should be. Nice job. I see Algeria's making the news. Won't go into that though. But that's probably the biggest thing we see about the Olympics here now anyway. Nolvia's here. And Garcia's, yes, I was 2 minutes early today. I thought I'd make up for the fact that I almost posted that it was going to be 6 hours later. James Steele is here. Hi, Karen and Karl. I'm working on a sweater and an upwards knit stitch, but don't know what technique I'm doing yet. That's even more fun. Earlier in a post, someone posted some books that she got with one needle, and she also got Noosa Melgren's book on needle binding as well, Nalbinding Made Easy, I think it's called. That one is, she got them in the United States anyway, but with one needle was really hard to get them if you didn't have Amazon. And if Amazon was often sold out, so if you needed to get it, you could get it from her. She posted it in the needle binding Facebook group, the Knoll Binding group. We have them here, but then you got shipping. Look at them all over there. More waterfalls. And snow. It's not cold though. I was walking around barefoot and people thought I'd be cold, but no. Samantha Harrington, working on hats. I think it was Samantha actually that might have had the books. Working on hats in Dalby today and dealing with COVID. You know what COVID's making around here as well. We have a couple in the restaurant side that have gotten or fallen ill recently, but so far we're okay over in the village here. But I did hear after the Bora Viking market in Tonsberg that Kim Yarder and some others also got COVID. So it seems to be making the rounds over here. Let's see. Rhonda said, had to go 1 week left to see the Ness of Brodiger dig before it was covered up for good. Oh, wow, that would have been good to catch. Peruta made it, just got home from Ren Fair, and she's tired. She saw her needle binding in action, by the way. It was quite cool. The leg warmers. Or was it socks, actually? I think it was the socks. Yeah, it was you with the book. So there you go. If you need the With One Needle or Noosa Melgren's book in the United States, then talk to Samantha over there because the shipping is super expensive. But it took me 3 years to get the With One Needle book over here because I have to get it through Sweden, and yeah, there were some issues, but we got it through. So super happy. And then they accidentally sent me 100 books instead of 50. So we happily said, we can keep them if you delay billing on the second half, and sure enough, they did. So we were very happy about that mistake. Albert is still being on Kill Team, is taking a bit. We have a visitor, don't want to neglect. No, don't neglect the visitors. Okay, so we're playing with, Susie Youngman's here too from Adirondacks. Okay, I'm going to show you, we're going to do, I have my needle binding in here. I had a class today. It was quite fun. I had a guided tour, and my guided tour is textiles, so this was quite interesting. There we go. In my basket, mystery beer for Karl, and one of Audra's Icelandic beers, the third one now. So Karl's excited. No, so I had a class, but this was about textile in general, not just needle binding, so that was quite fun. Their organizer knew who, let's see if I move it over here if I get more light, knew who Ann Decker was, because if they had history questions, actually Ann Decker's better on that, but we covered all kinds of stuff. It was a lot of fun. Even one person from my hometown of Duluth, Minnesota was there. Okay, so this is what I've been working on. Second embroidery. The other one I got done, but it went in the shop before I should have filmed it. This one I've done before, and I think you might recognize it. Oops, sorry, there we go. It's going to be 2 of them, but I've only done them as singles. So this one will be double. This one I've already melted off the fiseline, or whatever you call it, the thin stuff that goes on top. And you can draw on it and then put it on here and then just embroider right through it. But once I get the outlining done, then I like to dissolve that away. It dissolves in water. Anyway, so that one will be done soon. It looks really bright red on camera. Maybe like that is better. But it's a stem stitch. There we go. And then chain stitching in the middle. Hugin and Minen. And the ravens from Odin. So anyway, thought I'd have a little fun. So since we're doing the York stitch, which some of you already know how to do, I think I have to do this from the other direction. I see the shadows going the wrong way here. Let's see. Yes, much better. Okay. We're in the restaurant kitchen area. It looks so pink, but this is actually maroon. But anyway, this is how far I got last week, and then I was taking it out of my bag to work on it and couldn't find it. So I made a new start, but that's okay. Now that I found it, I can at least reference on it. So if I remember right, I might have started around, I did a round start with maybe 6 stitches, maybe 8. And then this is York stitch, F1. I have been increasing every third, so doing 2 regular and then 2 in the third one. And now, as you can see, it's starting to bend out a bit. So I have to decide, is this enough tip or do I want more? And I think this is okay. York also has a tendency to want to do this anyway. So it might even stay like that on your head. I show it like that. There we go. It might even stay like that on your head. So I think this is fine enough for a tip, but the tip is actually, this sounds like innuendo heaven. But anyway, the tip is actually like that. Let's see. So then, now I've started increasing in, because I don't want it to point anymore, now I'm increasing as much as I need to do to get it to go flat. So for a while I was doing 2 in every 4th, and now I've done 2 in every 5th for a while. You can see, this is the right way actually, how it kind of looks like straw. Whereas Oslo stitch has these little diamonds in it, this one kind of looks like straw laying. And if you increase in the same spot, it starts to make a little pattern there, as you can see. It shows up actually really well on camera for a change. But if you keep your increases lined up, it'll do that. It's like a little star effect. It's a little hidden knowledge. Okay, so, and this is also needle tensioned because my York is super loose. So I noticed I've been having a tendency to do this off my thumb and only tightening it to my thumb. But because I have to tension the first one. So here's my next loop. That sometimes gets tucked underneath. Next loop, F1. And then you have your first and second loop. This is my second loop on the thumb. This fuzzy yarn is this Eskimo yarn, or it's now drop snow, I think, is making it hard to decipher the second and the third one. So I have to take it off every once in a while to see. But F1, and then the wrong way through the second loop and the first loop. And then tighten. I'm tightening it to the needle. I can tighten it to my thumb, but it's way too loose with this stitch. Yeah, I could do thumb tension and F2, and that would fix things quite a bit. So sometimes I noticed it was easier to just take it off my thumb after that part. So F1, F1, and then there's the first loop, There's the second loop. And then keep this behind. That was another way to do it. And then needle tension. So I notice I've been doing that lately instead of doing it all on my thumb. But you could also do, if you find that second loop. There it is. You could just do that. Normally in Oslo you do this and turn, but this time you're just going the wrong way through. So Oslo and York are literally one mistake away from each other. And I like to call it a mistake because that's how things get found. So I don't know if that's actually the case in this. And which came first, the York or the Oslo, huh? But I found out this was actually an easier, I tend to be doing it this way for some reason. I just catch the loop on my thumb long enough to not make the loop too tight. And then I took it off. Let's see, take that out of the way. So those of you who are familiar with York, what is your opinion on this stitch? And then I'll tell you mine. I forgot to count, so I have to see how many I did. I was supposed to be increasing in every fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4. I should have increased 2 stitches ago. I did like 8, so I'm going to pick out. But tell me what you think. What you think of this stitch. The reason it's not my favorite is because it's super twisty. But I do have a bit more patience with it if I'm doing something in the round, because you can see it wants to twist. It wants to do this. So yeah, this is actually one stitch I really don't use very often because I don't like it. But it does have more stretch to it. Let's see. Did I do that wrong? Got my yarn stuck. There we go. It does have some more stretch to it this way. Lots that way. Vertical always, but this one has more stretch to it horizontally than most needle binding stitches. Let's see, that was 1. I'm going to take out 2 more. Because I kind of liked that little increase effect that was going. I don't like teaching. This stitch is actually easier, slightly easier than Oslo stitch. In the way you do it, so it would make a better stitch to teach a beginner, you would think. But because of the twistiness of it, I still think Oslo is actually better to teach. Let's see. And I don't want to tighten it too much. This is what happens when you use lazy yarn and mess up. You have to like pull forever. There we go. Then I'll put my needle back on. I had someone asking me in the class the difference of 1 eye and 2 eyes. So I have 1 eye, but sometimes I want to use twice as much yarn. So you can do 2 through 1 eye here and let it sit like that, and it lets you use more yarn. But you can also do like this and have this go through 1 eye and this go through the second eye. So I told her, if you think you might use lazy join, or lazy yarn, not lazy join, but lazy lengths of yarn, go ahead and get the 2 eyes, because there's no rule that says you actually have to use both eyes, but at least you have them if you think you might want to do it later. Ah, there's rainwater over there. Getting in my wool. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to increase, but first I can't remember if my gauge was right, so I'll loosen it. The F1, and then tighten it so it's the same thickness, and then pull through. Nella likes Trier, York 4 with like so pierced F4. Yeah, that one I have to say I haven't done more than a little sample of it, but that would allow you to use much thinner yarn, and then you do 1 instead of like this is F1, but this is your way you're doing it 1. 2, and you have to kind of go back, so it's 4. So you call it piercing. And then you do it just regular Anella, if I remember correctly. So it would be like F4, but then you do regular York. You have to correct me on that one. I haven't done Trier in a long time. Mostly because Nella is really good at using thin yarn. I, on the other hand, don't have much patience for thin yarn usually, but oh my God, if you do thin yarn in a more dense stitch so it can handle it, they look so pretty. There was somebody who posted, I saw it just before I left and I forgot the name already, but somebody who posted, tell me I did increase, didn't I? Shit, I forgot to increase. 1, 2, 3, 4. This was supposed to have, no, I increased, okay. Anyway, somebody had posted a beautiful pair of socks saying that they are now going to work with thin yarn from now on. And you'll see how beautiful they look, but also they point out that it fits in their shoes because the fabric is nice and dense, but it's much thinner, whereas this is very thick. Osla for thinner yarn, says Samantha. Yep, that one I love too. That one you can go really, really thin yarn. Because it makes a super dense fabric. But those ones, mittens and Osla stitch are to die for because it's so thick. There you go. And then tighten and pull through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep increasing at a rate that keeps it flat. Check it every now and then. You can always stretch out before each row to see. Actually, mine is a little on the wavy side. When I stretch it out, you can see this is where I joined. But as long as it stays flat, then I would just increase evenly. So at some point, I'm going to increase in every 6th. I have no idea. I have to use the force. But right now, my yarn says increase in the 5th because it's tilting a little bit. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was my 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one more in this one. I believe. If I get it wrong, it's not really a big deal as long as it doesn't start waving. And as long as it increases enough to go flat. Now, with York stitch also, because of that stretch, it also wants to hug. So when I would normally make a hat, maybe I would normally use 86 stitches around, say, for Oslo. I'm just throwing a number out there. If I would use the same yarn, 86 stitches around in Oslo, I might need more, like 96 to 100 in York because it hugs. So you kind of have to try it on as you go. See, 2, 1. We did this really quickly, but Nylock and Tut's got a good page for this to show. Actually, I think I have a little video on Instagram. I got to do that. A little reel or something that just shows it quickly and about needle tensioning with thick and thick yarn on it. And there we go. 1, 2. For some reason, I found it was easier to find it. But this needle, I'm starting to regret this needle for this yarn because it's getting fuzzy. So these 2 stitches are getting, or 2 loops are getting hard to see. All right, Karl, if you're thirsty, I think the tourists have left the village, so I can come out from hiding. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 in the last one. And then I can check to see if it is starting to ripple. I did think after tensioning would be a pain in the butt, but actually, after tensioning or tensioning to your needle, it actually isn't once you get in the swing of it. Then it becomes a habit and you go to your next project where you meant to thumb tension and then you're like, oh crap, I'm needle tensioning now. So if I make that a little loose, stretch this out a bit, it's still kind of a little on the wavy side, which means I'm increasing at least enough. And my needle wants to go straight up and down here. So I think as soon as my end loop starts to tilt this way, if you're not counting, that means I'm going to want to start increasing in every 6th again or something, a little bit less often. Okay, now I catch up on chat and show you some more rain. Oh, I hear somebody's blowing a horn. Okay. Let's go outside and look at rain. Dorothy and Piotr are all packed up. I can't tell if... Oh, no, we don't have too much rain in the puddles, so I can go further out. There we go. Now you can see it's trying to come out, the sun. But rainy weather, okay, if you can handle the rain, it is so beautiful and dramatic scenery. All of these waterfalls are extra. They only come out when it rains. And this one has an extra vein that only comes out when it rains. And that little one up there. So if you compare this with some of the drier day videos, you'll see the difference. But they just keep going back there. There's more waterfalls over there. Like the whole wall is leaking. Okay, let's see what you said. Oh, the rain might be picking up again. We'll watch the water mottled puddles there. Just the tip, says Albert. That's what she said. See? Carl's not even here to make fun of me. I don't know what he's doing. Lisa and Preben's coming to Charlotte's place for pizza tomorrow. Tell them we miss them dearly in the village. Lisa Turoy and Preben. They were out here a lot last summer, but then they ended up on a road trip. Oops, there we go. Suze is working on learning how to spin yarn on a drop spindle today. Can't figure out the distaff part though. You know what? The distaff actually kind of annoys the crap out of me. I think if you have it in a belt and it kind of sticks up there, then it's easier. But I actually found it was just easier to just take a piece in my hand and let it sit on the top of my arm instead of underneath. And those bracelets can come in real handy for something like that. But I was spinning silk for the first time. We have to fill a minimum requirement for ordering yarn, and we needed more yarn in the store, but I didn't need quite as much as the minimum requirement is. So I thought, what if we try raw unbleached silk to spin? And when we got it, it was too fluffy. We can't sell it in the store like that, and it's just this tiny little amount, and it costs a lot. But so then I spun it and thought, okay, maybe we sell the thread. Okay, no, I have to go in again, see the rain. And it turned out really, really well. It's me. No, it turned out really cool. But I ended up having to, I spun it, and then I wasn't sure if I had to set the twist on how to set the twist on silk. But yeah, it was just the same as wool from what I read. To set the twist on silk, you just needed to wet the skein, and then it would, and then kind of whack it a bit and then let it dry. So I did that, and either I did it completely wrong, but I noticed my spin wasn't tight enough, and I was reading on other ones that had done spinning with silk that they like to make it extra, the extra spin compared to regular wool, because that made sense actually. Because I'm looking at the stuff that I spun, and I thought it looked great, but if I was going to embroider with it, it would fall apart within 3 or 4 pulls through the fabric. So then I thought, okay, no, I'm gonna just respin it one more time. So I sat and spun it all more, and it's much, much tighter. I should have brought it out. I don't know what the hell I was thinking, but it looks really good. So that one, we will make these little skeins of it and put them in the store to sell, and if they sell well, we do it again. But it was a fun thing to try. Let's see, I'll turn around so I can shove my face into the screen so I can read. I'm glad we got out when we did. Look at it's raining over there big time. The puddles. There we see it. So anyway, I had a hard time, but for some reason I just haven't caught on to the distaffs yet. Okay, put it up here. Then we'll fly backwards a bit here. There we go. Albert bought Trazen, the Infinite Crusaders and Inquisitor Inferno pistol and power sword. This sounds like Karl talk. That will be cool to see. Love the red birds. Do we have red birds here? I might have missed it. Oh, they're in the shop? No, I wasn't in the shop. I have no idea where we saw red birds. Red birds are fun. I haven't seen them in Norway except for the Doompop, which is the Christmas one, has a little bit of red on it. In Minnesota, southern Minnesota, you get the cardinals. They're like blue jays, but red. Oh, it's raining big time now. Karl's gonna look like a wet dog when he comes out here. There you can see. There. I actually like the rain. Let's see. And my friend and I, says Rhonda, got to join our West Mainland Spinners meeting in Orkney and got to hang out and spin with them. That's so fun. You can do like the Stitch and Bitch or do these things together. I'm gonna hopefully not make you sick by moving this. I need to put it on a ledge so I can put the, there you go, but we're super zoomed. There we go. Let's watch puddles. Puddles are fun. See there. My kids used to jump in them. I used to jump in them. Whoops. I dropped the gimbal a little bit. I miss jumping in puddles. We should go and do that. When Karl comes out, I'll make him do it. PJ says, I'm a heretic today. I'm knitting and not Nalbinding. Clutch the pearls, PJ. You had one job. No, that's okay. Some people are spinning and some people are knitting, and yeah, we're doing all kinds of things and sewing. Okay, Samantha says, I honestly hate York stitch. One of my least favorites. I can't stand how twisty it is. Got to agree with you. I don't think there's anything I didn't make in York stitch that I haven't blocked. If you steam block it afterwards, it kind of corrects the twist a little bit, but it'll still find its way back. Susan says, I agree. I don't like it and it's too twisty. Peruta says, it's so close to telemark, you might as well do that. No twist. I agree with you there. Yeah, telemark is just, it's a Russian stitch, so there's like one more switch on the back side, but it's pretty close. Smith says, also is a stitch I teach to newbies. York isn't the best for beginners, in my opinion. Yep, no, I agree. I think also the tricky part there would be to get them to keep the needle on the thumb. I mean, on the keep the loop behind your thumb, to keep it on the needle when you twist and go forward. Some like to take it out. Let's see, we'll zoom back a bit. Low-lying roof, so I won't get much cloud here. We're just going to stare at Dora Computer's tent for a minute. Then Nella says she likes Trier. I should do something with that. Yeah, 4 loops on the thumb and over the working yarn. Okay, then I got that one wrong when I said earlier. York and telemark says, Nella, our techniques very far from each other. York is technically a single step and telemark is a 3-step. Sorry. Dry throat. I get what you're saying, though. I can show that one, actually. Let's do that. Oh. It's like I breathed in dry air, which is amazing considering how rainy it is. Okay. And we'll get a loop of yarn here and another needle. Let's see. Yeah, I have a piece here. This is that old yarn I pulled out of the house last week, right before YouTube. It doesn't actually come in skein in hanks like this, though. It comes in skeins, but I took them apart. And put, I mean, I wind them like this intentionally, though, so that it looks better on the wall. Doesn't look so modern. There we go. Now it's a hank again. Okay, so it's getting a little dark here. Try here. So with telemark, you'll need 3 loops. Three loops. So start with 1 and 2. New one is under the old one, I believe. I did that too quickly. Yeah, old one, new one, old one. One more. Okay, so this one, when you do telemark, you have 2 loops behind your thumb and 1 in front. So there's a couple different ways that you're doing it, but when I do telemark, I have to lift this one up, pick up that one behind, and then go back out again. And then, but telemark, that would be Dalby, but telemark goes over this one. But I like the telemark stitch. Telemark is like Dalby, but just has a little extra ridge. Then you get your order back corrected here. So telemark would have this one going over, picking up the second loop from behind, and then back out again. And then under and over the lead yarn. But we can, I think we did this one when we covered Dalby one month. Then we showed Dalby and telemark in the same month. There we go. And then up. So anyway, but that one would be a much more denser stitch. But telemark at least doesn't, that I screwed up there. You didn't see that. I think I grabbed the wrong loop behind my thumb without looking. Okay, then, and then of course, York, but now I didn't count, so let's make sure I don't screw it up this time. Increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm gonna increase in the 6th. York is just the second loop. So the second loop there, but you go just that way. So just through the old loop and the new loop and underneath there. Might show up better if I used the white needle. But yeah, so you got your connection. But then you have loop 1 and loop 2. That's your old loop. So you're going just this way and then under there and under there. Okay, more rain. Did it stop? Karl's not going to be able to drink that beer. Oops, my gimbal is needing to straighten out. There we go. The mud puddle seems to have calmed down a bit. Yeah. Ta-da! Maybe a trace. You can still see, though, it's very dense over there, so there's still more rain coming. Because when the mountain starts to disappear, that means rain is on this way. And sure enough, there it's starting up again. And behind us, you got the clear spot up above, so that means we were in a dry patch for a second. And that was here. But look how full the waterfalls are. Let's see, keep going back. Oh, nope, it's starting to rain too much again. We'll look up there real quick. And the clouds tend to disappear, or the mountains disappear into the clouds. Okay, no, it's raining too much again. Go on in. So there you go. You see you see the mountains disappear, and you can pretty much do the math as to how much time you have. Now the whiteness is here. Oh, even those ones up there are starting to disappear. Okay, let's get back up here. There was some more. Ah, yep, Peruta linked the tree stitch, which was good. So look up further in the chat if you want to find that one. Rhonda says, to Suze, don't sweat using a distaff. Yep, just wrap the fiber loosely around your wrist to start out. A lot easier than trying to juggle with two tools at the same time. I agree with you. I just never actually advanced to the distaff myself either. I've tried, and every time I try to use a distaff, I ended up just discarding it because I think it's easier without. But that just might be me not quite learning the technique correctly. Albert says, this week I'm going to help the guests with making Sant Torsberg's pants. Can you make some for Karl? He needs a new pair. Max is here. Sorry I'm late. I was packing up my stuff to go home a few days ago and a tornado hit in my location and the power went out. So my brothers and I are staying at my parents' place. Oh my God, I hope everything is okay. We didn't get too many tornadoes back in Duluth. I think 1 or 2 hit, but it's usually in Superior, Wisconsin. Mostly if we get tornadoes in Minnesota, it was down in the Minneapolis area. No tornadoes here. They don't like the water and they don't like the mountains. But we do get huge gusts of winds from time to time. There was some gusting earlier this week, and that put a lot of tent people into houses really quickly. Drea's here, watching on my bus ride to work today. Welcome. Oops, sorry, I hit the wrong button. PJ also has never been able to mask the distaff. Just hold the wool in my fist. That's what I do too. Max is lucky in my location, close to a lake, so it's extremely rare to get a tornado. That's good to hear. Albert says, I'm looking at some tents and the prices are either good or just expensive. Well, I have a tent here you could use, but it's been gotten so much rain in the past and old. Nella says, if the distaff is needed or not depends greatly on the spindle whorl and the weight to circumference ratio. Ah, good to know. That might be it. My spindles are pretty heavy though, usually. Sue says I tried to spin flax at first, and oh my god, it was a pain and turned into a bird's nest, and now I am trying regular wool. I did think wool was a lot easier than silk, to be honest. The silk was okay, but it kind of comes like that merino wool in these big long wisps, and you just kind of, it literally just started sucking the fiber out. I just had to make sure that the fiber that I had didn't start going like this. But if I kept it long and flat, then it would just kind of practically suck the silk right out of it. That was cool to see. Let's see. PJ says, I'm wondering if there is a way to adapt this cable pattern to Coptic stitch. Oh yeah, no, you could. If you get really good at doing the Coptic right side and Coptic wrong side, so which would basically look like purl and stockinette stitch, or purl and regular knit. In Norwegian, that would be one right stitch, one wrong stitch. But you would have to you know how you have like an extra cable needle? You would have to take the stitches off, put them on a needle, and then twist them around. So like 3 stitches that are on, okay, well, there we go. If we do like this, these 2 stitches, hi, it's an Elisa. These 2 stitches would have to go and twist with, or these two would go this way, these 2 would go this way but cross over, and then you nullbind, or this stitch, then this stitch and this stitch. They have to be twisted, and if you do that every, I don't know, 6 rows or so, you'll get cables. But you have to keep it in the right place. But I think you could definitely do that. I'm kind of curious to see. Karl needs new pants, says Peruta. How badly does he need them, and what can he offer to trade? Good question. He's real skinny though. I'm supposed to make him some. The only reason I think he needs new pants is because he's got 2 pairs of pants with a hole in it and 1 pair of pants that he lives in. Sooner or later, I'm going to have to wash those pants. I can see endless ways to get confused, says PJ, but I want to try it. You can do it. Just use the crap yarn, then you can just get mad and throw it against a wall. Heidi Lisa just here late. I come home from knitting cafe. Oh, I miss knitting cafes. We need to do those here. Instead, this is the closest I get. You guys are great at keeping me stitching and bitching. Let's see. Oh, I think Susan was talking about your embroidery. What was I talking about? Oh, the red. You're right, the red birds. You're right. Oh my God, I forgot I was doing that. Hugin and Moonin. Thanks. Red ravens on my embroidery. Yep, you're right. I made a couple of those. I think I made at least 2 red ones, individual, just the bird. I can show it again for those who are late. Let's see. We'll walk this way. They're in my basket somewhere. The basket eats everything. There we are. There they are. Now they're looking less bright. Well, they still look really bright. The camera picks it up really bright. So I just did 1, but he's going to get red fill here, by the way. He's not quite done yet. Not around the eye, but in this part here and up to the beak. That part will get filled in. But I made 1 of these, or actually 2 individual ones in red, and they sold real fast. And then I made 1 in green with the plant-dyed wool twice. And I got to say the plant-dyed wool was the best. If I had red plant dye, I would do that. We have a lot of people that like the red because of the petroglyph rock carvings are always usually painted red to show them up better. So I tend to go with that one, but it would, if it was, uneven or plant dyed, it would look so nice because there would be more texture and movement in the birds. I'm a horrible person. I need to pay attention more. Okay. Do you see where that smoke is coming from, by the way? I have to show this. At first I thought he had a fire in his tent and I was going to have to call him. But no. That thing right there is actually like a little oven. So you put 1 or 2 logs in there, and then, of course, as the fire burns, but it actually, you could keep that in your house, not this day and age, but in the Viking age. And if you just had the coals in there, it would actually keep your house nice and cozy during the evening, for most of the evening at least, and warm. But then, of course, smoke inhalation is the thing, so don't do it. That's why he has his on the outside. But no, he's down to the coals, but because of the thing that it's sitting in, this is quite fine. He also has a lid on it to keep the sparks away. But that's what that is. You can also grill on top of it too. Am I using a washing peg to hold my embroidery floss? Yeah, I found that on Pinterest. I thought it was a good idea. Clothespin. So if I had little pieces left, I would put it on. Oh my gosh, I'm super zoomed. Let's see. There we go. a clothespin. I thought it was a neat idea. You can also use the kind with a clip where it would pinch the end of the thread anyway, so you could always find it. But yeah, I liked the idea of it because these were getting felted in my bag. So if I put them on there, they didn't get felted so fast. Little trick. This also reminds me of another thing I saw once where they made little toys, little dolls. So they would wrap the yarn around in different colors, would be a shirt. This right now she would be a naked doll with a big belt or maybe a mini skirt. And then you could draw a little face on it and things. And the kids could play. We did that when my kids were small too. I don't know if that's Viking, but I thought it was a cute thing. Pinterest knows everything. Let's see. 41 minutes. Karl's not going to be drinking at this point. Let's see. How far am I back here? And Anne says, puddles and kids are even more fun. Oh, I agree. Watching them just go boing, boing, boing. Still, it's still enough to have me under the roof. But we popped out a couple times. Cyber Lynxter 21. Siberian Tiger 21. What the heck did I read? I find a distaff is nice, and when my carpal tunnel acts up and I don't want to stop spinning, I have to try that. So far the carpal tunnel hasn't gotten too bad with the spinning, but because I use a drop spindle, then my right arm, as I wind it back on, this will get a little sore. But my left hand does okay with the carpal tunnel. Oh, maybe it's starting to. There's some light coming out. Maybe we can go out. Should we peek? I'm putting my hood on. Let's look at the puddle. It's not coming down at a fast rate anymore, but it's starting to clear up a little bit over there. But beautiful. Maybe I should try to figure out the distaff or give it another go with the carpal tunnel. Rhonda says there are techniques for spinning flax. They're not all the same at all in the techniques for spinning wool. There are a number of articles about Spinoff about a magazine about ply and flax spinning. And ply about flax spinning. I can read. That might be it too. I've never spun silk before, but it actually went quite well. It's just that I had to spin it tighter than I normally would. I had to do extra spin. Let's see. And it might be catching up. So what are you going to make with your York stitch? Are you going to do the little bags like Amaro does? I thought that was a cute idea. It was just basically enough to taste this. There's a creepy Viking walking towards me. You're just in time, Karl. If I give him any more needle binding, they're going to burst, especially the ones that are here for the geeks, the gaming geeks. 2 pants with holes, with holes. 1 quickly assembled pants without holes, says Amaro. Hi, Karl. Hello. Reminds me of the RE stories my dad told me when they would take the socks they wore and burn them because they would be stinky, says Albert. Jay Cortez is here. People use clip ones for bobbin lace too. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Gosh, the scenery is beautiful. Yeah, we have to pop out when we can. It's Karl's eating the scenery. Yep, there's his Ann spotted Karl. Peruta, here comes Karl. Roger says, here comes Gandalf. I've never spun pure silk, says PJ, but I have added it to wool for a mixed fiber. You know, I gotta say, and all 23 pris like. Oh, I like that. I kind of like the idea of adding the silk because it's so expensive. You got like 20 grams is like 500 kroner out price. It's like, but I think it would be good to kind of mix it in. Karl. Jay says that you are going to have an annual review of rinsing the beer glass, just to make sure you're doing it right. Have you rinsed your beard?
I would expect.
It's looking a little cloudy, Karl. It's looking a little cloudy. Okay, the rain's coming again. Run, 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 run. Let's get you some alcohol. Jeez. Okay. If we go, let's see. We'll start you with the mystery beer. You get box number 16.
Because the citrus.
Well, we don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is. It's for your calendar from last year. Box 16, because we're not picking them up in order. Last week I think it was like 21. But if you stand over here, they can see in the light. No, here. So I mean the light is in front of you, not behind you. Come to me. Come to me, my little wet dog. Okay. Oh. Ostman. Didn't we try this in a Christmas beer? We means him.
I don't remember it.
I remember the Blue Fox.
This is a Christmas
It
beer.
is a Christmas beer. Then we did try this. Okay, you're forgiven.
Of course it's a Christmas beer because it's from the Christmas calendar, but...
Yeah, but they usually don't have Christmas beer in the Christmas calendar, do they? I thought it was just different kinds of beer in the Christmas. Anyway, we've had that one before. Skip it, go to the Icelandic one. You can have that one later. Because if you try to drink 2 beers in 14 minutes, the Belgians are going to be shocked.
Yeah, I shouldn't shock the Belgians.
Don't shock the Belgians.
I don't remember this one.
You don't remember that one? Okay.
Might have been
It was in the Christmas one with the beer tasting, but it might have been 2 years ago. It might have been just one.
Yeah.
This last one. I can't remember, but I think we were sitting in the Freeman's room drinking that. Last Christmas, the one we just had, we were in the Chieftain's Hall. So there you go. This one we had to show. This is one of the Audra ones. It's the other one following the Icelandic one. Kukil. That doesn't sound good for a Norwegian. K-U-K-L. Or is it K? No, it's K-U-K-L. And it's got some bind runes. Classic lager.
Those are not bind runes. They are some kind of staves.
Staves, sorry.
But...
All right, tell me the difference between staves and bind runes.
Well, to be a bind rune, it would have to be a
it.
combination of runes. And these are not combinations of runes.
No, I guess not. Okay, I see that. That's what you're going to try. And this is the Golder beer or whatever. Witchcraft beer. It's witchcraft.
No, because none of the other ingredients are particularly interesting. So let's hope the witchcraft doesn't taste citrusy.
Did it say what it was? Wheat or just as Icelandic, I saw water.
Malted barley and blah, blah, blah. Icelandic water again, of course.
Yeah.
But it would be silly for them to import the water.
Sophia Clausen. Hello, Karen. Sorry it's a bit late to the party. Hello, and congratulations on getting your permit sorted in, was it England? UK, yeah. That's a huge thing. You've been working on that for a while, if I remember correctly.
This beer smells promisingly beer-like.
This beer smells promisingly beer-like, he says. Okay, come over in the light, Karl, so we can see you. Ooh, look how blue my eyes are. It might be the dust. Dune. Okay. There.
Color is fine.
Ambery. Is that a happy Karl or an angry Karl? It's not going matcha way.
I'm not super surprised in either direction. It's okay-ish.
You kept it down though. You didn't spit it up like the matcha beer, so that's good.
There isn't anything bad in it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit uninspired, and I think that might be this might change from day to day, but
yeah.
In my mood right now, it's a little bit too bitter.
Oh,
But
bitter.
I know
Okay.
that I can drink bitter beers like this with no problem.
Bitter beer. Bitter. I just say that fast.
Yeah.
Bitter beer. I like it. It's a little uninspired. You know, you don't have to drink it all in one go, Karl. Didn't Anne teach you that last time?
Yeah, but that was beer that was twice as strong as this.
Okay. Yeah, that was
This
the...
I can drink all
What
in
is that
one
one,
go.
4.7?
Yeah.
No, I think it's
so.
5.
Was it 5 maybe?
I think that's a 5. So it's not exactly a weak beer,
Do you think
Karl.
that makes an enormous difference, 4.7 to 5?
Huge. All right, we'll look at the rain again here. I'll like catch up on chat. For my overseas trip, says Rhonda, my husband made me a Tuckley toting tube so I could bring my Tuckley spindle in my luggage. Oh, I have to see what that is. Is it like the Tuckley spindle? I'm trying to imagine what that is right now. I know there's this one where they're crossed in the front, or where there's 2 pieces you can actually flat pack that thing. And then there's some that have to be in a bowl. Rhonda says he found a narrow, very sturdy, stiff cardboard tube, cut it into length, and 3D printed the end plugs for the tube. Works great. Oh, what a great idea. Karl's face, says Charlotte. Probably from when you were coming here and I was teasing you. Do the face.
Which face?
I don't know. Do a face. Any face. Oh, that's a clever one. Okay. Sophie says, I should help with Icelandic. I could help with Icelandic. Does it have Icelandic writing on there?
Yeah, got to.
Okay. Bring the bottle. Let's bring the bottle back here. Is it actually written in Icelandic? No, it's written. Oh, yeah, it's written in Icelandic, but in English underneath. All right, read it once, Sophie, and then see if you did it right on the bottom. Oh, the Freeman arrived. The nature of the Strander area is enchanting, and tales of ghosts, trolls, and witchcraft are cherished. The people of Strander can see. Let's see, I'll hold that a little bit further back. I'm trying to read it through the phone. Can see more than meets the eye, and through the centuries, they have used sorcery and magical staves to keep the forces of nature at bay. Is your force of nature at bay?
Well, my magical stave isn't doing anything, so I guess so.
Let's hope the front microphone isn't working. Karl's talking about his magical stave. You like it?
Why is it bad that I talk about a magical stave when you were just talking about the woman who said that she tackled her husband's tube when she was on a trip?
Earlier I was talking about the tip. You missed that. Here you go. Have the bottle back.
Why do I want an empty bottle?
Because I don't want to hold it anymore.
I just want to hold it either.
Yes, you are now. Okay. Outer's laughing. And Rhonda says, yes, I love my tackle. My tackle. That sounds like my count. If I pronounce that tackle, it sounds more fun. Tackle, tackle. Sophie says, looks like a fairly good translation. Actually, they're just been to the place where that brewery is. These are the ones Outer brought back, but there was 3 of them, I think. The last two weeks, anyway. If you go back, you can see we had one that was silver and you had one that was gold, and then this one is kind of a bronzy color. So they seem to have like the metallic theme going for them. Roger says, Icelandic is made up of 3 words: ice, land, and what, Karl? I thought that was pretty clever.
Yeah, I'm a little bit when the bear is named Kukul. That makes sense.
Why does kukul sound like that? You have to explain that one because that's not an English word. Kuk.
You have an English word that is very, very similar. That describes the same
Rooster.
magic stave.
Oh, look, we can go back out again. Now they're nice and clear. Come on out, Karl. Yay! Now you can see the back mountains are much more clear. So that means the rain should hold off a bit. But it's still a little misty up there too. Let's see, what else did I miss here in the background? It's a support spindle for cotton, which is why I wanted protection for it, since it's a slender, pointy steel thing. She's talking about the spindle, Karl. The tackle.
I get it.
Jay Cortez says, oh, you can make an Ari embroidered sleeve. That is so pretty. Oh, I'm going to look that one up. The A-R-I, I think if I'm saying that right, embroidered sleeve. That I will have to see. I like to do the embroidery. It's fun. Tackle is the, I'm reading backwards to this because she said this earlier. Rhonda says, no, a tackle is a tiny steel spindle from India, and then goes to describe it. And Garcia was one, oh, it's Turkish spindle is the one I was thinking of that Garcia mentions. That's the one, it's got one piece this way, one piece this way, and the stick goes straight through it. I'm just waiting for Karl to say
I
something.
can't react to all your innuendos, woman.
Okay, we can look this way too now. It's getting a bit more clear here too. Jay Cortez says, how beautiful. I haven't a scrap of Viking blood in me, but I'd love to visit there sometime. Oh, you definitely should.
And you probably do.
Yeah, you probably do. Everybody's got a little scrap of Viking blood in them. Is that what you're saying?
35 generations since the Viking Age.
Yeah.
So you're basically related to most people who was alive back then.
Yeah. Could be. That, by the way, the building with a nice sunroof, that is not in our village. There's a wall right in front of it. But I wish they would kind of fix that so that it didn't look like our Viking houses are. It looks like actually there's a lot of sod on that roof, and the sod is the way they built it or something. They forgot to stop it, so the sod slides down, and it looks like more of it is slid off in the last couple days.
Yeah.
So
of which, I've seen.
I think that's gotten
You
worse.
see up there. You'll see the beginnings of trees. You have to send up a kid with
Oh,
sword
yeah.
to deal with it.
On this first house, yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's some on the house outside me as well. So this is outside the textile house. There you can see some trees are sprouting up on top of the roofs there. And even over there. So, yep, it's been a while since we sent kids up there to pull the trees out. And if you don't, there's this wonderful house. Actually, turns out you can Google it. Hemsedal. Hemsedal house with trees growing out of the roof, and you'll see it immediately. It's on Riksvei 52 or RV 52, I think, or no, maybe it's 7. I don't know. It's one of those. But you'll see it. It's really quite cool. But yeah, no, we need someone to get the trees out. That one seems to be doing okay tree-wise. Ronza says, I've heard of kick spindles, but I've never tried it. Oh yeah, who said about kick spindles? There's a, yeah, Jay Cortez says there's another kind of spindle that's called a kick spindle, and that would make Karl, that should make Karl cringe. Takes up very little floor space too. We can get one of those. You're gonna get it, so you just have to kick it every once in a while to make it spin. And then it, no?
Yeah,
You don't want to watch
if I
me?
kick you once in a while, will you spin?
Yeah, he's sitting right in front of me with his forks while I'm doing my spinning, and that would be fun. PJ made a kick spindle once. That would be really cool to see. Lyra's here, by the way. Hello from Kansas, late again. Oh, apparently you're not. Apparently I'm early because I posted that this thing was going to be at midnight. But Nella caught it before I actually went on live. All of a sudden there's in the chat, and she's saying, why does this thing say it doesn't start for another 6 hours? I'm like, shit. So I fixed it. I forgot to sort it. Used a broom handle and a dumbbell weight, says PJ, to do it. That's a good idea. You can look this way. If you're in shot, it's too bad. Green is the color. You and Karl could hang out together. Okay. I keep trying to convince my husband, says Samantha, that we should have a grass roof. Yeah. So Karl, explain the grass roof real quick. What is the benefit? Now we know that one house, which is actually to the left of the tent when we came in, does not have a grass roof, is having issues that none of the houses with the grass roofs are having.
Well, it's insulation. The houses with grass on the roof are, in general, cooler in the summer and hotter in the winter than the wooden shingles like on the Chieftain's Hall.
Yep, yeah, the Chieftain's Hall is a good one to notice for the shingles. Yeah. But actually, one of the houses is starting to leak through the shingles. This one also has the shingled roof, kind of.
Yeah.
There you can see it. And can you see the little animal in there? I always like to point him out because a lot of people don't see him. It looks like it's a little dragon head. It kind of looks like a boar, but it's actually like the Ernest dragon. He should have a name. He should come out every hour on the hour and start playing tunes. Just like a cuckoo clock. Well, Karl, are you feeling soaked enough?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. We can take the other beer home and you can drink it then. So tomorrow, if I cut everything on chat here. Oh, PJ says I don't still have it anymore. I repurposed the handle and put the weight back on the dumbbell.
I came up with an ingenious way to get tourists to leave today.
because they're not leaving on time. That's why he wanted to leave. When it's 6 o'clock, they have to go.
At 10 minutes to 6, I yell out, the Viking village will close in 10 minutes. And then I give them a 5-minute warning. And when I see them afterwards, I tell them the village is closed. The village is closed. But
Do
I
that
had a
again.
family today who just didn't take the hint.
Yeah.
So in the end, I go up to them and say, I'm sorry, but the village is closed. And very soon we'll close the gate. So if I were you, I would leave. Then I took the hint.
Probably because you're a creepy guy that said, and then if I were you, I would leave. It's starting to rain again, damn it. We're going under.
Yeah, I really don't mind the rain so much.
No, I don't, but the gimbal and the camera doesn't like it.
Now, in my line of work, dead calm and direct sunlight is the worst.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like murder.
It's too hot and you can't get any...
Minus 20 degrees, wind, snow, I can live with that. Because I can always put on more clothes.
Yeah.
There is a limit to how much I can undress and still be family friendly.
I usually say the same thing, though, not the family-friendly part, but it was like, there's only so many layers I can take off, so this means you're the right guy for me. Okay, so...
Also, I really don't, I don't look good in the Conan look. With just a long loincloth.
Can you picture it? Oh, sorry. There you go. Do it again, Karl. There we are. The loincloth. Take it all in, ladies. I can see more Freemen are showing up. They're going to have a little feast in the hall tonight because it's too rainy to be outside. Oh, look at that. Okay, anyway, but Karl, I did not look at the schedule for this week. I have no idea what Saturday looks like for next week. Have you looked?
No, I did see Marie fuming a little bit when she made the big plan. So I think there is a lot of things happening, but I don't
Yeah.
know if they are happening in the weekend.
But nothing
Normally
after.
they're not.
Oh, there you go. You can see the rain is
So
coming
like
back now.
today, for instance,
It's getting white over there again. Yeah?
we have a lot of walk-ins. But the only group we had today was the one that you guided.
Ah, yeah, that's the one we talked about. That was fun. Every once in a while, it's fun to come out from behind the desk and guide. Because my guiding isn't your guiding. My guiding is talking about textiles.
Was it just me, or did your group was... I saw them walk past, and I was
Yeah.
thinking, okay, none of these women reach up to my...
Oh, they're little short, cute American
They
women.
were just a bunch
Except for
of...
the husband, he was from Duluth.
It was a bunch of tiny little...
Americans.
Yep.
They were all Americans.
But they were so tiny.
They were moms. They were all moms. No, and they knew their stuff too, which was actually quite good. Okay, so anyway, then Saturday at 6 o'clock hopefully won't be too much of an issue. Otherwise, I'll post it ahead of time and we make it a different day, but it should be okay, I think. Unless we have some event going on. We had a big wedding here last night. Well, not a big wedding, but a long-lasting wedding, and they were here until late. Oh my gosh! Viking cooking! All right, I suppose we should let them do their thing. Okay, then we will see you on Saturday. Say goodbye, Karl.
Goodbye.
And you can go drink your Foxy beer now that you can't remember drinking before. Must have been a good night.
If it was the one in the Chieftain Hall.
It was either one in the Chieftain Hall. I think it was actually the one in the Freeman's room. Or I think it was the year prior, actually.
Okay, the Freeman's room wasn't that bad, but the Chieftain Hall one, I actually had to kind of hold on to things when I left because everything was spinning.
And we're going to have to go back and check now. Okay. So this would probably be within
I wasn't the guy who was the most drunk, but oh, I was pretty drunk.
No, there were several people writing their names in the snow, and they were not women. Okay.
Normally I'm not.
Say goodbye, Karl. We got to go. We don't have, otherwise
I've
we don't
already
have a
done
ride.
that. Goodbye.
Mwah! See you next week. We got to do it this way. There we go. No, this way. There we go. Damn it. I'm leaving.